In this third video of the series, we cover all of the Billstown encounters. I go back over some basics on how to deal with clickers, and we explore in detail the Bloater boss encounter. I've covered the following points about clickers in the first video, but as you come across two clickers as you enter Billstown, I will go back over those points. It is easier to bypass clickers and avoid the trigger than attempt to kill them. However, this does not apply all the time, as some encounters force you to make the kill. Both clickers are passive, but the following two methods also work on triggered clickers. You will need either a brick or a bottle and a melee weapon. Wait for the target to lock onto a clicker, throw the brick, and then follow in with the melee weapon. This method only uses one hit from your melee weapon, which helps prolong its life. You can use a melee weapon on its own, but as with runners, a non-assisted throwable kill will wear your melee weapon down faster. And, as mentioned, this also works on triggered clickers. You can also use shivs on passive clickers, but as resources are scarce, you're better off using these to open locked doors, which usually contain resources.
There you go.
Bingo.
There you go. Come on.
I got you.
Damn it, Bill!
There isn't too much to the second encounter, as it's a straightforward set piece. After jumping the fence, Infector will only enter through the three right-hand entrance points, and you have essentially unlimited ammo. As you're using the revolver, runners will die to one shot.
Cut that rope, and it'll bring me down!
On it!
Whilst clickers will die to two shots to the head, the body presents an easier to hit target. So whilst it takes 3 shots to the body to kill a clicker, you will put them down faster. And you can also shoot infected before they climb over the fence.
Just tend to the rope! Ellie, how's it looking?
I'm going as fast as I can!
Ellie!
Anytime, Ellie.
Hold on.
You all right?
Yeah.
Come on, you can do it.
Here.
Thanks. God damn it.
Come on. It's not cutting.
Hurry, just hurry! Hell off, you son of a bitch!
Again to think what the inside of the engine.
For this encounter, there is a trap on the ambulance, so set yourself up to the left to draw an infected towards it. Once it's gone off, proceed to pick up a throwable and use the method shown earlier to kill the 2 clickers.
Get me! Fuck!
You can either let Bill finish off any remaining infected, or use a throwable to stun them and then kill them. The graveyard encounter is split into 3 areas, with the first being the more difficult of the 3. The first area involves having to pass by 7 clickers undetected with minimal cover. If you go loud, you will deplete any ammo you have built up, so the best approach to conserve resources is stealth. You will need a throwable, so grab a brick or a bottle and then crouch towards the first clicker area. The speed to move at is the very slowest of crouch crawl speeds, and use the right stick to direct Joel. Clickers can only hear you if you either move too quickly, too close to them, or if you're in the path and in range of their echolocate scream. So moving slowly whilst they're moving away from you is the best approach to take. Hiding behind this ornament will provide cover from any echolocate screams. But your position needs to be precise, as if you are too high or too low on the steps, you will be detected. Once the clickers move to the left, move right and move past the grave. It's worth noting that if a clicker is near you, you can wait behind this grave and you will not be detected. When you get to this spot, aim your throw at the far side and throw. This will draw all 3 clickers away from you, allowing you to move freely and quickly to the stairs. As you approach the stairs, pick up the brick, and then move to the right to avoid being detected by the clicker on the left. When the far clicker echolocates at this spot, move forward, then turn around and throw the brick at the stairs. This draws both of the clickers away from you, allowing you to move to the gate. When you get to the gate, try to open it, and then move away. Bill will then open the gate, which will allow you to enter the second area.
Hold up. I got a key for that gate. I suggest we move quietly.
Easy, easy.
Kill these runners, and then head into the garage further up the street.
You weren't kidding about this place, were you?
There's one runner to kill here, but be careful that you are not spotted by the runner on the far side. As it passes, move out for the kill. Head back into the garage and then into the house, but be aware that the runner patrolling the garden area can be in line of sight when you move past this fence, so if you need to, stop and check first. Jump into the garage and wait for the runner in the house to move away from you before killing it. There is a firefly pendant in the toilet that you can collect. Wait for the runner in the garden to move past the house, follow, and then kill it. Kill the clicker using the throwable melee method, and then pick up a fresh throwable. Move back into the garage, across the garden, and wait behind the trash. When the runner passes you, move in for the kill. You can skip this next kill if you wish. Head into the next garage and pick up the resources. The following I've just shown you takes you to all the resources and collectible items, but you can skip this route and head straight to the exit, making minimal kills.
It's tied on the other side.
What about going through here?
What, the doggy door?
Be very careful.
Of course.
Maybe you should have given her a gun.
Okay, Bill.
Oh, those clickers for things inside the house.
The third area you can simply move through slowly, as there are 4 clickers and they are all passive.
Stay down.
In other attempts, I didn't find any additional resources here.
Fucking scary.
All right, come on, let's get up. On the RV and over.
The school bus graveyard encounter is split into 2 parts. The first part is a fixed path encounter for the first 6 runners. Then there is a trigger point, which automatically turns the encounter into a how many AI can I get build to kill type of encounter. So, to get things moving, follow this path through the first part of the encounter to kill the first 6 runners. As this handy overhead shows, the first runner will move one of several ways around their route. You need to wait until the runner moves up alongside the table and then turns away before moving out for the kill. Timing is key here, as you need to reach the runner before they pass the end of the concrete blocks, otherwise you run the risk of being spotted. The next 2 runners have a clockwork-like movement pattern that repeats every 2 cycles. So, when the left runner is moving away from you and the right runner has started to head towards you, move up to the brick wall. When the runner moves out of sight, move up to the bus, but do not sit near the gap between the bus and the table, as you will be spotted. As the runner moves past you, and its back is turned, move up to the end of the table. When you've killed this runner, move over to the wall and wait for the third runner to pass. Once it passes this point, move out after it and make the kill. You need to wait for it to pass this point, as it can glitch and turn around with successive encounter restarts. Wait behind the bus for the runner to fully pass you, and make sure that the runner in the next section has moved behind the far bus before making the next kill. That's the first 4 runners down. The next 2 you can choose to kill, or you can leave them. If you choose to kill them, then you will need to use a throwable and an explosive in the following way. Leaving them means you will have 2 extra runners to deal with in the next section, but you would have saved an explosive for later use. So, moving between these 2 buses will trigger the next part of the encounter. This isn't something you can avoid, as it's part of the level design.
Ellie, run! Run!
Oh, they're coming from everywhere!
Christ!
The aim now is to keep running in consistent circles and use Bill to kill the runners. Runners will not always go after you, as they will latch onto the nearest human to them. But you can force runners onto Bill using a technique I call bumping Bill. To do this, you will need to run across Bill's path and bump into him. This will stop his movement. This allows a runner to start attacking him, which, most of the time, he will kill or do damage to. But occasionally the runner will latch onto him, and you will need to knock the runner off to prevent a forced encounter restart. When you're down to either 1 or 2 runners, you can melee them to death.
Well, that was easier than I thought it'd be. They must be holed up somewhere else.
Well, let's not test our luck. How do we get inside?
They've broken through!
After the cutscene, head straight up to the fallen concrete block.
Let's, we'll sneak out the back.
You
You
two.
need to kill the runner in front of you to progress. The timing for this will be in its 3rd rotation past you, as you'll need to wait for the clicker to move away on its path. Head up to the edge of the cabinet and wait for the runner in the corridor to move away, and then slowly move forward. There is a passive clicker in the classroom who will wake up when the L3 prompt appears. Whatever you do, don't click it. Instead, move backwards slowly to the concrete block you were originally hiding behind. The clicker remains at this spot, which obstructs your progress. As they're extremely sensitive to movement, you won't be able to get past it in time to avoid triggering the runner. Instead, equip a brick and aim it at the following spot, and then throw it. Equip a Molotov, and then throw it into the middle of the 4 infected. The 2 runners will die immediately, and the 2 clickers will eventually die, so do not break from cover until that happens. If you've sustained any damage, there is a health bar on the front desk in the classroom. Entering the classroom triggers the next set of infected, so quickly move back out into the corridor. Wait at the desk for the runner to move out of sight into the classroom, then move forward and wait behind the pillar next to the door. With runners, you always have a fairly small window to grab them before they fully trigger, so make sure you always spam the grab button as a runner moves into sight. When you've grabbed hold of the runner, drag it back and perform a choke kill. Move next to the door and wait for the runner in the classroom to move past. When it is in line with you, immediately head over to the next doorway. As you approach, spam the triangle button, as the runner's route back into the classroom can vary. When you've grabbed hold of the runner, drag it back a little and perform a choke kill. As you enter the corridor, 3 runners will spawn at the opposite end. When this happens, slowly move back into the classroom, down the corridor, and wait behind the concrete block. The runner's movement in this section of the encounter is entirely random. The ideal scenario here is they will make their way to you one at a time, so wait for them to move to a covered spot before making a kill. You don't need to kill the remaining clicker, just move back through the classroom and down the corridor to the exit point. Welcome to the first Bloater encounter. Bloaters are pretty much the boss equivalent of the infected, and they are the hardest to kill out of the 4 types in the game. They have 3 main types of attack. The first is acid spores, which it pulls off its body and throws at you. The second is a physical charge, which aims to knock you down, and if it connects, you will die. And the third is a punch, which if it lands, will also result in you dying. The first two attacks cycle between each other if you move around enough, and a charge crown if there is a clear line of sight to you. Charges can be avoided, but the bloater will change direction towards you as it runs. After an acidic spore explodes, it will make a sizzling sound when you are near it, and they will leave a mark on the floor. As you're moving around, look for these marks so you can avoid running through any lingering acid clouds. When you attempt this encounter for the first time, you will more than likely die. The easiest way to get used to the dynamics of the encounter is to just run around and avoid the infected. So don't attack the bloater, just aim to get used to its movement and its attack cycle, and get used to keeping track of runners as they enter the gym and deal with them if needs be. Once you are settled with how the mechanics work, the encounter becomes more manageable and the bloater is a lot easier to kill. There are two main ways to kill the bloater. The fastest way is to equip the shotgun and the rifle and then proceed to shoot it to death. The slow way is to use melee attacks after a charge. When a bloater charges, you can guide it into objects and stun it for a short period of time. When it's stunned, punch it 3 times and then run off. Using your weapons is by far the easiest method of dealing with a bloater. The stun and melee method is more of a challenge, and yes, you can kill a bloater by punching it to death. At the start of the encounter, 2 runners entered the gym at the far end. But it usually drops to a single runner if Bill keeps on top of killing them. Dead runners can also drop ammo, so running out of ammo here won't be an issue if you kite the bloater for long enough.
Let's go, babe.
Once the bloater is dead, finish off any remaining runners and then explore the area for any dropped ammunition. After helping Bill up, another 3 runners will enter the gym. On the rare occasion, Bill can kill one of these runners, but the usual method I use is to wait for one runner to get real close and use a brick to kill it, and shoot the next one with a revolver, and then melee the last one to death.
Down to the last one. Finish it off already.
Fucking hate those things.
Now hit it. Hit it.
This encounter involves dealing with runners and clickers across 3 stages. After pushing the car out of the garage, there is a brick on the ground across the road that you can pick up if you don't already have a throwable on you.
Stay focused. Jesus. Just keep turning right.
Whilst you can see a clicker and runner, stealth killing them does nothing, as Bill will automatically trigger a runner from a random location. So move back behind the truck and start to push. For this first part, kill the runner immediately to your left and then use the Bill bumping method to kill the remaining runner. Most of the time you'd have to shoot the clicker in the head with the shotgun, as Bill tends to shrug clickers off.
Back to the truck.
Gotta go faster!
At the start of the second area, drop back and then run past the truck down the street.
Hey, around that house to your right!
It's advisable to deal with the clicker early, so equip your shotgun and kill it. If Ellie is attacked by an infected, use a throwable to knock them off, or create some space and then punch them. Try not to stray too far down the street, as you won't have time to get back to Ellie if she needs help. There are more bricks and bottles on both sides of the street near the tree, so if you use one, you can pick up another. Keep moving until Bill has reduced numbers down to 2, and then kill the remaining runners.
Come on, we don't have much time. Back to pushing.
For the third section, you'll need to use ammo to kill the infected. The Bill bump method does not work here at any worthwhile speed, and for every runner Bill does kill, it is replaced by another. So the quickest way to move through this third part is to shoot all the infected.
Get her to the hill.
Once the infected are dead, continue pushing the truck and then proceed to the exit point.
All right, Ellie, start it up. You hear that sound, Bill?
Yeah, well that means he's back here. Go, more!